Thank you, Bob, for reading that introduction. It tells you where I have been, where I am, and that I am looking for better things. I've been distressed over things in our dear America for some time. I don't find much in my local press of any national or international significance, so I feel deprived of knowledge and ability to analyze and live by what's going on. So I turned to TV and I found less and more emphasis on fun and games and athletics. And then I discovered Fox Channel, and I get all kinds of news. But my people of the opposite end of the spectrum of ideology, they say, well, Marion, you're getting brainwashed, but that's okay. I'm getting some news. I'm getting some insights. And it's definitely not the left wing, Andrea. It's probably all the right wing. But it's given me hope. The things that really distressed me were loss of liberty. Loss of liberty through political correctness. A dastardly thing that puts zip on our lip and keeps us from really being open to express our needs, our concerns, our freedoms, our anything. If it's not going to be totally acceptable to everybody, you better not say it, and suddenly we really are being deprived. That's loss of liberty. Humongous debts that I've got 5 grandchildren, and I hope for great-grandchildren, and we're just imposing it on them. And life is going to be a stern and deprived future for that generation, those generations, many generations, for it's impossible to pay off the billions that are on our shoulders. Well, then there's Obamacare. And I just had a stark realization when our son told us that his, whatever he had, a regular sort of anthem type product that went up 90%. And he's a young man that's trying to establish himself with property and a home for his advanced years. And this has crimped him. So these things really bother me. And who's going to change this? An established Republican isn't going to make it. We've had 2 of those, and they've struck out miserably. If we can't put somebody forward who's going to move our hearts to look for better things and get committed to improving, leading us through integrity and wisdom, moral fiber, and a concerted effort toward the really right things to do for society and for the world, if we can't turn the corner and make some of those changes, it only will go worse. And America could cease to be the America that we grew up knowing, the home of the brave, the place that our military people were ready to die for. That country is just not the same it was. Its constitution is being undermined, it's being scorned, it's being walked on, it's being absolutely thumbed the nose. It's not for me to obey. So I'm very, very unhappy with the current leadership. And then I heard a television program, it was a news program, and it was a clip from the National Day of Prayer a year ago. And there I heard a man speak. I didn't know who he was. He was a black man, he was articulate, and I paid attention because it really made sense. Son John was sitting in the next chair to my right, and I looked over and he said, interesting, isn't it? Well, it was Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, a man who grew up in the slums of Detroit and Boston, no father present, a father that had a second family across town, so he was kicked out. And he had to say goodbye, Ben had to say goodbye to his daddy at age 8. Well, age 8 led him right into the 5th grade, and he was the bottom of the class. He was upset, he had nothing going for him. He was in the slums, his mother was going to make it, she was always absent, working, dedicated to her 2 sons, but, well, the but is really an exciting but, and you'll find that in one of the books that I'll have on a handout for you, that she was quite a lady. She made that young boy into a man. Well, he had a whole different set of values, and what he was saying for the country was really ear-tickling. I couldn't ignore him. And then I heard about him again. And now most recently, you should have all heard about him from the Conservative Political Action Conference, the CPAC, the first weekend in March in Washington, D.C., that pinnacle of, what did you have? I wanted to remember. You
Policy Mecca?
Yeah, thank you. There he spoke again, and you can see his speech, and you can see if what I'm talking about is right. He's good. He has ideas. And you say, well, how can he be a politician? Well, he's not. And isn't that refreshing? He is not a politician. He is a man of wisdom, moral fiber, extreme intelligence, willing to pray because he has a spiritual dimension that is part of being human. He is a real silver lining potential. And so I saw that I don't want the status quo to continue. I don't want another hardline Democrat liberal. I don't want that. And I can't count on a win an election Republican, but he was open to a draft. Well, was he open to a draft? Or maybe I should correct that. There was a group, and they're in the small print down here, runbenrun.org. runbenrun.org. Get on the bandwagon and let's get him elected. So you can find him at www.runbenrun.org. And they said, would he run? And he wouldn't reply. He said, I had no intent to be in office, none whatsoever. But should you clamor for me, you know that word? That means get agitated and do something and get me to run. I would not deny the American citizens and turn my back on them. That's where it started. He wouldn't say. He also said, I will do nothing to encourage or discourage, which is a way of saying, I'm open, I'm not committed, I'm not resistant, see what happens. Well, last August, a committee, realizing that they needed a new candidate, went to get Ben to run by forming an organization. You've heard it before, I just said it several times. And they have gone out to get petitions from the grassroots. And I have an opportunity for you to sign one such petition today. And you will also be able to find them on that website. All you do is say, I'm interested in seeing if this guy will run. Let's see him run, because he offers something different. It's not saying that I'm going to vote for him. It's just that I want this kind of an alternative. Now, I think judging you would all be ready to do that, to give us an alternative. And I'm going to ask you to do that. So, is he capable? Could he win? Interestingly enough, that's the first thing that Richard asked me when I got my excitement out to him on a different occasion. Could he win? He is a black man. And now we're going to compare him with Herman Cain. Herb Cain? Herman Cain, thank you. Herman Cain took a good percentage of the vote, of the black vote, a very high percentage, so high that they put it out as a smaller number because it was unbelievable. They put it out at 40%. And that was a reality, but then you know the rest of the story. It never became a real reality. And he was running against a black man, namely Obama, at re-election time. So the fact that he could have done that was pretty profound. And therefore, we look upon the fact that Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, I have to say that so you keep remembering that. Dr. Ben Carson is received the American Meritorious, so he has he's been in the limelight for things, but he has many other reasons why he should be able to run and beat that percentage. If that's the case, if that much of a percentage of the black vote could go his way, those folks who crunch numbers say there's no way that anyone could beat him. that's part of my great expectation, is that he can indeed do that. Is he able to do that? Is he able to be a worthy leader? Yes, in many ways. He stands on the issues. He stands pro-life, and as a doctor in pediatric neurosurgery, he has saved the lives of profoundly impaired youngsters and has given his medical colleagues privileges, or shall I say support, in their preservation of life and resisting the mandatory abortion that has been put upon them. He stands on budget. He has profound insights into a better way, and of course, he knows all about medical care and provisions for distributing that. So he has a good stand on the issues, and I'm going to suggest or tell you that I am going to do everything I can to support him. This has been in my front yard. I don't think there's another campaign poster out there anywhere, but there is one in my front yard. I've already alluded to the fact that I would love to have you sign your name to, let's see if you'll run, and then we will see the reality as the next election comes up in 2016. So I have a distribution for you. I'm going to let it go around after the speech, and I thank you for your attention.
Visiting hours for